My name is Mike Breedlove, lifelong Chathamite, and I've been here going on 15 years. I'm the Restore Director, so I oversee anything under that umbrella. That's the operations of both stores, all the budgets and spreadsheets and fun stuff that goes along with that. I also get my hands dirty. That's my secret. I'm the director, but I like to get sweaty. So I go out on the truck and help do pickups whenever I can. So yeah, that's it. We also have our box truck that does the pickups. All of that is under my scope. The Chatham Habitat for Humanity has been here since 1989. The Restores started in its very first iteration in 1991. And it started out as a giant yard sale at the fairground. And then it's been in some other places. You had the little spot over by the old Piggly Wiggly. It was down here where the florist currently is, until we landed where we are now. What we call Restore 1 was the one that was already there, and in 2008 it became clear that we had outgrown it. And because of the way the lot was situated, the expansion was out of the question. So a second building was needed. So Restore 2 opened up in 2009, very early in 2009. And so the easiest thing that I do is I tell people Restore 1 is home goods, Restore 2 is home improvement. So whereas Restore 1 is going to be the furniture and the electronics and the decor and the kitchenware and the media, Store 2 is going to be the appliances, the cabinets, the things like that, and sporting goods. So if you could find it at a Lowe's or a Home Depot, it would be in Restore 2. I wish that it was all under one roof. It would be a lot easier to maintain and staff. Volunteer need wouldn't be as high, but it does help from the organization standpoint of it. We have a lot of shoppers that come and they go to both stores, but we've got some that only go to one or the other because they know that's where what they need is going to be located. So it does benefit, at least in that way. Obviously, we're impacting families' lives whenever we build a house and they get the keys to their own home for the first time. But I like to brag to people that the Restores are affecting families every day. So we've got a lot of really generous folks in Chatham County that donate. Donations can be dropped off during business hours. We also have our box truck that picks up Tuesday through Saturday. So I should start out by how to arrange a pickup if you need that. We have a donation hotline. That's a cell phone that my scheduler carries, and that number is 919-548-6910. It's also on the website, which is chathamhabitat.org. And you can actually even fill out an online donation form if that's what you'd rather do. We'll still contact you via phone because there's just certain communications that need to be done that way. And then we can arrange the pickup again, or you can bring items in. So the list of things that we don't take is far shorter than the list of things that we do. We can't accept cribs or car seats. You know, there's a lot of baby stuff simply because of recalls and laws that are beyond our control. Clothing we don't take. Beyond that, most things as far as appliances, cabinets, windows, doors, all that good stuff, sporting goods, furniture, upholstered or non, artwork, home decor, kitchen items, all those types of things we take as long as they're in good, usable condition. If you have a couch that has stains, odors, tears, things like that, we wouldn't be able to take that. But as long as that's not the case, we'd be happy to take it. Mattresses we have been taking for quite some time now. We have to have them professionally processed before we can sell them. As long as they're within 7 years old or less And again, no issues at all. We can accept those. Electronics, we love to have electronics, but again, it's kind of one of those things where if the computer is 20 years old, designed for Windows XP, we can't take that. But as long as it's, current, semi-current electronics, we can gladly accept those. It's a big seller for us. Dishwashers we take, but they have to be 2014 or newer EPA regulations. And again, on our website, there's a list that has a lot of this information. Website's a great resource. But we bring those items in. These are really quality items, and quite often things that are expensive enough to where the average person in our area might not be able to afford brand new. So we price it. Of course, we have to try to make as much as we can, but be reasonable. So we price it, get it on the floor. I've seen people come in that, their house burnt down. They lost everything. They're starting over. I've seen families that, you've got a mother and children, and she's leaving an abusive situation and having to start out on her own. They're coming in and getting these items. We've actually partnered with other groups in the community at times, FVRC when they were around, Salvation Army we've worked with. And then again, the money that we're raising in the stores is going towards building those houses. And that's huge. Like for us, it's one of our #1 fundraisers, because you can ask for money, you're going to get what you're going to get, and you do all these things. But as long as you've got a quality product for a very reasonable price, that money's there. So the restores are huge, and that's why you've seen such a big push, even nationally, in Habitat for Humanity with the restores. So every day, impacting somebody. Lowe's donated all that carpet. There's a lot of carpet, really big rolls, and they also at the same time donated some linoleum and some hardwood flooring. And the flooring flew out the door. The linoleum went pretty quickly, and the carpet we've sold quite a bit of, but it was a huge quantity of it. So we do silent auctions in both stores. They run for a 2-week cycle, and then we do new items. The way it works is the new items go out on Thursday mornings in both buildings, and there's a book with sheets of paper that have what the item is, kind of a description of it, corresponding number so that you know which is which. There's a starting minimum bid, and then the minimum bid increases. You do not have to be present to win. You just write down your name, your phone number and/or email address, and your bid. And it has to be in the increments that we specify. If the starting bid's $20, minimum increase of $5, somebody's already bid 20, you've got to put at least 25, or more. And basically on Wednesdays, the week that it ends at 4:30, whoever's the highest bidder wins. Sometimes it gets really fun, if that's what you want to call it, and we actually have bid offs, 2-3 groups of people there that are all interested in the same thing. But it's a really good thing, and those items are things that we identify as maybe a little bit out of the ordinary, based on our knowledge and research. So, maybe it's like I'm a nerd. I like old retro and vintage, like games and movies and things like that. So maybe that's something. Really nice pottery, artwork. You never know, especially in store too, the kind of off the wall. It might be a group of antique tools, but they're items that are just a little bit out of the ordinary, eye-catching, and it's worth putting into the silent auction and maximize our profit on that, as well as just shine a spotlight on them, because if they just got stuck on the shelf, they might just disappear into the background, but quite often they're pretty cool items. We do have a Facebook page. That's the only social media that the Restore uses. Like, it'd be great if we had a volunteer that would volunteer to take that on for us, to take the pictures and put it up and all that stuff. And it's basically just because we don't have somebody that's specifically attached to that job. And so we try to do it when we can, but we need to make a bigger effort to start doing it a little bit more regularly. In the past, we had some people that, were on board that had more time, but it's a huge one for us where we can let people know about upcoming sales and events, specialty items you get in that might be a little different. Maybe you get a set of wheels that fit an 87 through 93 Mustang. That's a pretty specific item, but if somebody sees it online, it'll bring them in the door, whereas they might not just walk in and stumble across them. So our Facebook page, find us on there, follow us, like us, because again, it's a huge resource. Even if it's inclement weather and we're going to be closed, we put that on there.